So, are you sick of your 9 to 5, or are you stuck in a career that doesn't give you any pleasure? Do you have a talent or a hobby or skill that people always praise you about and makes you feel good? Well, on today's show, we're going to be having 3 wonderful women on talking about how they use their talents and skills to set up their own business. So if you're tired of being stuck in a rut and you want to be your own boss, if I were you, I would stay tuned.
This one's for the girls. This one's for all the girls. This one's for the girls who love without holding back, who dream with everything they have all around the world. Yeah. This one's for the girls. This one's for all the girls. Yeah, this one's for the girls. This one's for all the girls.
So ladies, we're going to be talking about using your talent to make money. And like I said, throughout the show, we're going to be having women at different points in their business life talking about how they use their talents in order to progress financially. So on the show today, I have my lovely presenters and a special guest. We've got Sam.
Hi.
Lovely
Glad to be back
intro,
again.
guys.
Thank you.
We've got Helena.
Hi.
And we've got Kieran.
Hi.
Kieran, so you are going to be our first guest on talking about your business.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we have also the lovely Desreen on our comments desk today.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Des. Do you know what? Sometimes I get you confused between you and your sister.
Oh,
Des
you're the
and
only
Jen.
one.
But today is Desreen.
Yes, it's
Right.
They're absolutely
little bit
identical,
shy.
aren't they?
But Des, how can our viewers get in contact with us?
Well, you can get in contact with us on our Twitter, tweeting us on DKW.me, or our Facebook website on Different Kind of Women.
So we're going to be talking on today's show about female entrepreneurs. Now, Kieran,
Yes.
tell us a bit about yourself. What exactly is it that you do?
I'm a web/graphic designer.
Okay.
And
So for those of us out there that don't know what it is, what is that in particular? What do you do?
mainly I build websites, I design websites, and also I do a bit of graphic, but mainly I concentrate on the whole web, helping people build up their websites and that.
So how did you discover that talent in itself?
Well, I've always loved art ever since I could remember, and I never thought I would do web design. Obviously, I found that later in life, but I knew I'd do something in the art field. You know, I did it. I loved it in school, loved it in college, and then I just knew somewhere along the lines I was going to do something with art. And so, in the company that I worked for, they put me into web. I didn't know anything about web at the time, but through the years working there, I discovered I loved designing websites, and that's how I discovered my talent in web design and that.
So you must be quite creative then.
Yeah, I've always been creative, but you know, using that creativity into sites, I never knew I could do that. You know, you see a website, you assume, oh, you know, it's just there, you know, slam bang, bob your uncle, it's done. But really, there's a lot of work that goes behind a website, and working in the company that I work in it opens so many doors, and I thought, wow, I could use this and, you know, start building my own business.
So that's a talent that you discovered and you acquired.
Yeah.
Presenters, don't think you've escaped. I was actually going to ask you.
That's
as
good,
well.
that's
I mean, like, do you guys have like talents that you've ever thought maybe I could use that in order to make money out of it, or you've done so in the past? Sam, you're nodding.
I think throughout my life, I've actually had a number of talents that I've always tried to enhance my skills with and put it out there as an actual business. I mean, I think my first talent I ever discovered was actually that I was very good at athletics.
Okay.
And I actually, because I was recognised from school that it was a talent, I was joined to a professional club, and I used to train like 4 times per week as a young child, from the age of around 10 to about 17. And I was always training and doing lots of competitions. That was my first. When I reached 16, I was then asked to actually be sponsored to do it, and I ran my first race for England.
Wow.
Where I was doing the 800 meters. That was my first talent. But throughout my life, I've done business such as like hair and beauty and things like that, selling clothes. I've always tried to find something that I thought that I enjoyed or something that I thought that I was good at and try to put it out there to establish it as some kind of business. And it worked for me. It helped me throughout my life. And I did that alongside me even having a 9-to-5, Jen. So I think it's really, really nice when you, even if you have a 9-to-5 and you've got particular talents, and even if you think you haven't got a talent, talents can be learned.
Yeah, like Kieran,
You can learn a
it.
talent.
I
You can.
learned in the company I worked for, because like I said, I didn't know, you know.
So you went into the company and you
Yeah.
had no idea about websites,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bit of a
They
long shot.
really invested in me, and through their, you know, faith and trust in me, I just flew within time. I just discovered it and, you know, developed it.
That's
And
wonderful.
Thanks to the company I worked in, they really invested in me and supported me and that. So, yeah.
Sorry, Helena, you feel like you were going to say something, I was interrupting you there. But one thing I did want to ask in regards to your business, you're at startup stage.
Yeah.
So you're starting your like website design
Yeah.
business and so forth. Explain what you had to do in order to start it up, because maybe there's viewers out there that are like, do you know what? I love, for example, making vases. I do pottery and I'm really good at it and stuff like that. But how on earth do I start? What would you suggest to them?
Well, for me, it was, you know, many of my friends, we were like, Kieran, you know, you have this talent, you should use it somehow, you know, set up your own website, you know, get people to ask you to build their own websites, because, you know, this day in society nowadays, you know, everyone's on internet, on iPads and iPhones, and, you know, they put all their business online nowadays. So they said it's a big opportunity. So I thought, okay, yeah, maybe I should start doing that. But it was just years it was going by and I was just not doing it. Then one of my friends asked me to build a website. I thought, okay, let me just do it for her. And then all of a sudden, word of mouth just got around and people asked me to do the website. So that's how it really started. But thanks to my friend, you know, she pushed me into starting the business. So
Interesting. Des, now, apparently you've been doing some research. You've got some research there on female entrepreneurs in the UK. Please tell us.
I've been going on a website called www.women-unlimited.co.uk, and I found a few females that are making it big in the UK by using their talents and what they're good at. So we have Rita Sharma, and she's worth a whopping £44 million.
Wow, that is a lot of money.
So, isn't it?
That's some good
I was really
change.
shocked actually. So she basically is UK's richest female Asian female entrepreneur, and with her husband Rahu is within the top 20 richest Asian families in Britain. She's got to the top worldwide journeys and bespoke London travel agency established in 1996.
Wow. So there you have it. So imagine if you love going on holiday, why not set up your own travel agency to advise people where to go on holiday? I mean, £44 million. That's only estimated. Lovely. Do you have another one?
Yes, I have another one, and this is Karen Brady, and now she's worth estimated £82 million actually. And what she has done, she's the first lady of British football. She started out advertising, but quickly caught the keen eye of a publisher, David Sullivan. Under his encouragement and financial backing, she bought and managed Birmingham FC at the age of 23.
There you
23 years old,
See?
ladies.
Well done,
It
Karen.
is a skill after all. I'm going to manage a football.
A football club.
Isn't
I mean,
it?
how many women would think, you know, to take on a football club?
I'll tell you who. Someone who is watching football Sunday night or Saturday night and is like, what a mess. You know, this,
We
you
can
know,
do a better
the
job as
uniform, the
women.
uniforms are a mess. You know what? I'm going to manage a team.
Why
it.
not, indeed?
But I mean, it's really interesting because she did it at the age of 23. Now that's quite young. And Kieran, I don't mean to put you out there, but no, because we have a lot of young females as well that watch the program, and perhaps you can inspire them. How old are you?
Can I say I'm in my 20s?
So are you in your, okay, I'm sorry to put you out there. Are you in your early, mid or late 20s?
Early, mid.
Early, mid 20s,
She's
okay.
24.
So
You're 24 years old, Kieran.
Why can't you say your age?
I thought, let's say my age.
Really?
for a lot of women, it's like,
It's a
the
mystery to
no-no,
me.
you just don't do that.
I think
But
the reason why I don't like saying my age, because the younger you are, they take advantage of your age because they think you're naive and you're young,
But
don't
you
know
are not
nothing.
naive.
I'm not, but they assume that. And plus, I don't, well, a lot of people say I don't look 24, I look
Let
even
them
younger.
assume.
But I think they take advantage of that. Like,
So-
She's 20.
no, but like you're saying that, for example, when you're young, sometimes people can take advantage of you. And I
Yeah.
think that is something really key to highlight, especially if you're setting up your business.
Yeah.
Because maybe you might have people that would probably want to invest in you, but look at your age and think,
Yeah.
I can pull a fast one over her because she might be inexperienced.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever faced anything similar to that? or-
Not so far. Like I said, I'm just starting. But like when I've met with clients and I've given a price to them, they like try and make me put
haggle
the
it
price.
down.
Yeah, put the price down. I'm nope. But they're, like because of my age, they're like, oh please try, push me into putting the price down. But that's why I don't like really say my age, and I just have to keep that business mind frame of saying, look, this is my price, take it or leave it. That's it.
Unfortunately, Sam's put it all out there for you.
In the real world, though, when you do get a client, you're not. It doesn't come into conversation really
true.
when you're with a client. You show your age by your matureness. Doesn't matter what age you are,
Yeah,
Kieran.
yeah.
You show it by your matureness and your assertiveness. If you know your job and you know what you're talking about, the person's not going to say, I want this job done, but how old are you? They're not going to do that. So it's for you to show your assertiveness and know that
No, I
you
agree.
can do
I
the job.
agree. No, I agree.
And you'll be fine.
No, like I said, I was firm, so they
You'll
had
be
to.
fine,
They had
Young and firm. I'm young, but I'm not.
Yeah.
to, push over.
I'm
Yeah.
a
That's
businesswoman.
it. You show
Yeah.
that you're not a pushover.
But you come across very assertive.
Yeah, I
you're
am,
an assertive
so-
woman.
One question I would like to ask then, being a young person, how do you juggle your lifestyle and, your social life and what
It
have
has
you
been like-
with business? I mean, no, seriously, because that's why many people would opt for a 9-to-5 because
Yeah.
it's more convenient. You work from this time to that time, you get your paycheck at the end of the month, and then you're pretty much done and dusted and you can go about your business afterwards. How do you manage the time?
Well, it has been a bit crazy hectic, but I don't know how I did it, but I have been managing very well. I just don't, you have to be very wise. You can't take, like, when there's a whole load of clients, you can't agree to everything. If you can't do it, you have to say, I'm sorry, can you contact me at a later date? I can give them a certain time when you can do it. Start planning, how long it will take you to do it, and then start slotting it in the months and let the person know, obviously, and that's how I'm managing it at the moment. But I do have time for my friends, as my friends know, watching back home. I do have time for them, and that, you have to enjoy what you're working for and what you're doing, because or you just go crazy.
Yes,
Yeah.
true. Well, thank you very much, Kieran.
Thank you.
We'll be going to a break now. After the break, we'll be having Lauren Westwood, award-winning jewellery maker, with us, talking about her business and her talent. And also, we're going to be having the lovely Verena Leon as well, talking about Just Cupcakes, a baker too. So stay tuned for more
can't wait.
information. Helen is like, "Ooh,
Cupcakes?
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 So stay tuned after the break for some more DKW. Hello everyone, we have the lovely Lauren Westwood with us in the studio. I am so excited. You are a brilliant jewelry designer. Hi Lauren, nice to meet you. It's good to meet you. And do you know what, during the break, ladies, we were staring at this bust.
Absolutely
Did you make that?
amazing.
I designed it.
Wow.
I have a
Wow.
workshop.
It's
Absolutely
beautiful.
beautiful.
I mean, can you, is there any way that the camera can
I
zoom in
don't
on
know
it?
if the camera
I
can
just,
zoom
I
in
want
on that, but
everybody to
this
see it.
is
It's absolutely stunning.
amazing, Lauren.
Thank you very
Beautiful.
much.
I'm very impressed.
So start off with the design process. How exactly do you design something like that?
Well, I do a lot of colour is really important in the designs, although actually in that one there's a lot of white and sparkle. That's more of a sort of bridal piece. But all of the materials are natural that I use, apart from the
natural
Swarovski.
stones.
Yeah, these are all.
Natural Swarovskis are in there.
They're Swarovskis, and these are all natural freshwater pearls. So a lot of the time I look at what's available, like the different stones, the different pearls, what goes together, the different textures, and kind of work from there, really.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
I'm even admiring. I'm speechless. I'm actually even admiring the one that you're actually wearing around your neck.
Oh, thank
That's
you. Yeah,
absolutely
I brought a lot of
beautiful.
pearls with me today, but we do a lot of other. Basically, we do all different gemstones, and rather than sort of doing seasonal collections, I like to carry a stock that offers every single colour, because I don't know about you, but I don't really, you know,
Stick
if
to
a
one
catwalk's
colour.
saying you've got to wear purple, I know what colours I like to
That's
wear.
right.
So
I agree with you.
yeah. So
You wear what you like and
we
that's
all-
it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Sorry. Sam's completely blown
Do you want to sit here? Do you want to sit
I
here?
would just like to know, how did you actually discover, you know, the talent to actually make jewellery?
I think it all started with a real passion for jewellery and accessories. More than I started the business when I was 18, so I was quite young. And I did a lot of travelling. I took some time out after college, went to Mexico and Asia. And sort of out there, that's where all
There's
the
a lot of
stones
natural
are
stuff,
cut.
natural
and
stones in those
yeah.
countries.
And I think I was just a complete shopaholic and wanted to buy everything for myself to start with. And then I thought, actually, maybe I could start a business, and started looking at the construction of like high-end jewellery, and basically taught myself the stringing skill.
You taught yourself.
So this is all.
I did,
This is
yeah.
all handmade.
Yeah.
Oh, very
Yeah.
But that's what it's about, isn't it? Using your skills, things that you like to do, to, you know, make it a business.
Yeah, I think being passionate about something
It's
is
very
really
important, isn't
important
it?
if you're going to go into business.
You know what, I have to ask, so I didn't catch that. How old were you roughly when you started to do that then?
I was about 18.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And so where did the idea of Westwood Rocks? I mean, I know you've incorporated your name, you was probably thinking about the idea, but how did it really all come together?
Well, I started off just trading under my name, and then it was actually my husband who came up with the name Westwood Rocks, and it just kind of stuck. It sounded quite good. It got the
Sound
message
good.
across, and
does.
yeah.
And tell me something, what were the main obstacles that you came across while starting your business?
The main obstacles, listening actually to your previous guest, quite similar. I found that being really young, and especially I think being a woman as well, were two. Yeah, I think dealing with like commercial property agents to like look at shops. I found a bit of a problem with people taking me seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
But why would you say that? Because we was discussing this earlier on, like you said, and like, well, Sam was making an interesting point. If you're assertive in the way you project yourself, do you think that would give an impact as to how people would look at you, or do you think really people just take the mick out of your gender and your age?
I think people just, you know, have that. Yeah, I think if you are assertive, it's definitely going to help, and I think you've got to be if you're going to start a business. And if you're young and female, you know, you've got to go out. You've got to be confident. You've got to just go for it. And that's how, you know, I got it off the ground. Really, I just ignored the fact that I felt that, you know, people weren't really taking me seriously. And if your business is successful, then, you know, you can show accounts, you can prove it other ways as well.
So you started from 2000.
Yeah.
And how have you remained positive? Because I'm sure with any business there's still
challenges.
ups
Yeah,
and downs,
yeah.
there's challenges.
Yeah,
How do you
definitely.
remain positive, you know, to really succeed?
Well, when things are going well, obviously that's a positive reinforcement for yourself, and it keeps you going, it pushes you forward, it gives you sort of inspiration to look at the next step in the business. But obviously that doesn't always happen. There are, you know, sometimes things don't go to plan. And especially when you work for yourself, I think, you know, you do have to realise it's not all roses.
Because some people,
exactly.
you know, many people think that to have their own business is, you know, it's easy life. It's not, isn't it? You have to work hard. From what I see, you know, people I know, you've got to really put your all into it.
Yeah, even though
otherwise it won't work.
A lot of people, you know, friends, I have to say, you know, assume that you can take as many holidays as you want.
No, you work more than anyone else.
I confess, I would assume the same
Leave
thing.
early,
No.
but actually it's more the opposite.
All the
I end up
responsibilities
working
on you,
till
isn't it?
all night, or you know, to really late, working on the weekends. I think you've got the responsibility, and you know what you have to do.
Yeah,
so
you
just
know what you have to
work
pay.
whenever
You
you
know
can.
you need to buy new stock. There's many things involved.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, before we go into your business a bit more, because I'm finding this rather interesting, I want to go back to Des. Des, you had some more women, isn't it, that you had found?
Yes, I found Martha Lane Fox, and she founded lastminute.com alongside Brent Hoberman.
Wait, are you telling me that lastminute.com was founded by a woman?
Yes,
I'm not
by
surprised.
women. The one with the hotel. You can go to hotels, holidays. Lastminute.com is a good website. Alongside Brent Hoberman, at the peak of the .com bubble, Lane Fox stood down from the company in 2003. Just as the profits started to fall, lastminute.com was sold in the early 2005. So she earns as well £330 million.
330 million.
Wow.
Amazing.
You see?
So you can
Just
make
with
it,
one
ladies.
idea.
There's nothing
You see,
impossible.
look where this idea, where it came from. People are always, you know, leave things for last minute. You know, they don't make. So you see, this is all very intelligent, isn't it? It's like the football thing I was saying earlier.
Well, I'm still a bit surprised about that one, about the lady. What was her name again? The one that owns, well, she took over Birmingham FC. I've forgotten her name.
Karen.
Karen,
Yes.
Wow.
You see?
And there you have it. So ladies, when your husband or your partner or whoever in the house has you sat by their side forcing you to watch the footy, just bear in mind, who knows, you could be the manager of that football team. But back onto you, Lauren. So you started Westwood and everything, but I've got down here that you were nominated as Entrepreneurial Rising Star aged 30 and under by Kaya King.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when you was nominated, and how does it feel to be nominated for such an award? I mean,
Yeah, it was fantastic. And actually, going back to your question about how you remain positive, it's little, well, that wasn't that little, but things like that, being nominated for awards, that's, you know, that really does keep you going, encourages you, because you don't have a boss sort of giving you an appraisal saying you've done really well, but something like that is almost the equivalent of someone saying, well done. And Kanye King, really lovely lady. She's worn a lot of my jewellery, and yes, it was fantastic for her to nominate me.
so where do you see your company going in the future? Because now you've established it, you know, you've got a beautiful line. I mean, that is just absolutely stunning, and I'm sure more and more people will be interested in your jewellery. Where do you see yourself progressing and going?
Still, my main focus, aside from the design, has been on the brand, getting brand awareness. Online, obviously, is so big now, so pushing more on the website, and possibly looking at other countries. We've got a lot of customers in Spain, and looking at America as well, so just expanding out.
Sorry, I've been hogging you, asking you so many questions, because I just love your company and what it stands
Thank
for.
you.
Sorry, Helene, I know you wanted to ask some questions.
What did you used to do before this business? What is it that you used to do?
I've always done this business, apart from literally...
Yeah, from 18 years old,
Yeah,
but
yeah. So
maybe I was
Start from a young
wondering.
age.
Maybe I was wondering. Maybe if you did something else before.
Well, I had a Saturday job as an estate agent.
Okay, nothing to do with jewellery then.
No,
It's so
and-
interesting to say, because it just goes to show know, that you can have a talent. You know, some
And
people,
just make
you
a
know, you may not have the highest qualification or the highest degrees, but if you've got a talent,
And I think
it can be established. and
Nowadays,
you've proved that.
I don't think it is about qualifications, is it? It's just about going
That's
out there
right.
and you know, trying out an idea. And like the lastminute.com, it's such a simple idea. And I think the
Isn't
best
it?
ideas are usually the simple ones.
Yeah, and I think as well, I'm sure in your case, being willing to sacrifice,
Yeah.
give that time, that quality time, put in all those hours I'm sure you've done over the
Yeah,
years.
imagine.
You know, and I think it pays off in the end, I'm sure, as
Yeah.
it's done.
Did you ever think like this? Oh, I don't know if it's because I believe that when you start a business, it's all or nothing, isn't it? All your strength,
Yeah,
all your
you
attention.
do, yeah.
Did you ever think, oh, what if it doesn't work? What if? Because we've got
No.
some viewers at home that maybe are like this. They know they have a talent,
Yeah.
but they are too afraid to take risks.
Yeah, and
You know,
I
you
have
need-
so many friends like that who are
Okay,
so
so-
talented at certain things, and you know, some people will sort of over research it and think about it too much, and I think you're not going to know until you've
Yeah.
actually had a go,
They're
do a little sale,
afraid to take that
do
risk,
something, yeah,
isn't it?
do something on a small scale, so you're not really, you know, investing too much money, too much time. Just try it out and see.
I
get
love
some
that, what
feedback.
you've just, I love that. I love the idea of that, because sometimes what stops a lot of people from really, they're thinking, oh, I'm not, you know, they may not, I can't get business loans, I haven't got
Yeah.
the finance to start this business.
Yeah.
And I've always had this, you know, I've got an inspiration who I listen to. And often I've heard him say that, you know, start with what you have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't overstretch yourself.
Don't stretch yourself. Look
Just-
at what you've got
Yeah.
and start with it.
Exactly.
And then build on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, one thing I have to ask you, Lauren, is how do you keep yourself recession-proof, if there's such a thing? Because many women out there might say, well, I'm in the middle of a recession right now. You know, I've lost my job. I don't have that much income coming in. I've got other responsibilities. How did you get through it? And are you even going through it? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. I mean, retail is one of the main industries that has been affected. Obviously,
Right,
you know,
I
you
didn't
just
know
have to
that.
look at the high street to see how many empty shops there are. And, you know, I think with Comet, you know, so many of the big companies going under. I think the main things you've got to do is, like you were saying, don't overstretch yourself. If you want to try something, if you've got a talent, just do, you know, there are so many little fairs, especially around Christmas time, where you might be charged like 10, 20 quid for a table. Give it a go. You'll have people walking past, see what they think, and the best feedback is from doing those sort of sales. I did exactly that yesterday, actually, a fashion event in Surrey. You know, and the general public will tell you if they think it's good or not, and that's your best feedback. And I
Yeah,
think if you
word
just
by
go
mouth.
on what they say, and like you say, build on it. If it's going to work, it will. If you don't think it's going to, then you know that maybe it's not.
And we
the
know
best.
the greatest advertisement is word by mouth.
Exactly.
So it's just
Yeah.
someone telling someone and then you're off.
Definitely.
Basically.
just to expand, I saw that you've got some pieces here. Can you
Yeah.
describe what these are and how you made them? And
Yeah,
so on?
I brought a selection of
Beautiful.
just some really quite simple designs, but some of our best sellers in different stones. There's carnelian, turquoise, rose quartz, and amethyst. Just to show you, because this piece is one of our sort of bolder pieces, whereas these are, you know, we do very affordable sort of everyday pieces as well, like this, that are just easy to jazz up an outfit, you know, just a bit of
beautiful.
colour.
I would wear them all together, actually.
Yeah, they're quite good all together, don't they?
All together.
That's one of the things that when I started the business, that to make it different, because there are so many costume jewellery companies out there, but I wanted to make jewellery that was made with natural products but was actually at an affordable price, because there are so many jewellers that you know, that you just can't afford the natural stones because they're a real luxury item, whereas I wanted women to be able to come in and buy, you know, spend £20 in a little me treat. And
So how long would one of those pieces take to make? Because this is another thing as well. Many people think that they can get rich quickly by
Yeah.
doing their talent, like, I don't know, let's say jewellery making, and it will just take me 5 minutes. I'm going to stand out in the cold 5 minutes, and then Bob's your uncle, I'm a millionaire. And I know it doesn't quite work like that.
No. Well, when I first started the business, I was making everything myself, and I think that's what was keeping me up all night. You know,
It's time consuming, isn't it? All the beads, all the...
and I'd suddenly get a new idea, and when I had an idea, I wanted to quickly put it together and see what it looked like, and so it took a long time. But if you put in the hours and the effort, it will pay off. You just can't rush, especially something like this. You know, you don't want someone to buy it and it to fall apart. You want it to be good quality. And
So saying that, have you actually transferred your skills to build that perfect team?
Yeah.
Have you done
So
that
now, because I sell through the stores as well.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The company sort of got to a stage where I had to focus on marketing and online.
Yeah.
And so the making, which obviously is very time consuming, we started outsourcing to little workshops, and now actually training up all of the staff in the stores as well.
Right.
Wow, sorry, that
So-
is so key. So you've basically gone from a one-person business to, do you have employees now?
Yeah, so I've
How
got
many-
3 shops.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and then the online shop as well.
Wow. So in total, roughly how many employees would you say you have?
About 15, but it'll go up over the Christmas period because obviously
Most
it kind of
definitely.
gets busier then.
What was your greatest achievement? What would you say was...
I think
I know everything
moment-
seems to be...
Yeah,
for you,
there's
it's like,
some-
it's your baby, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know.
definitely. Well, definitely getting the nomination from Kanye this year was really lovely. Last year I designed the jewellery for the underwater shoot at Britain and Ireland's Next Top Model.
Really?
That was
Oh my
really
gosh.
exciting.
Oh, wow.
What was it like?
It was really, I'd never done anything like that before, but it was great because it was the quite a sort of fantasy shoot. It was underwater at the London Aquarium. I could really go all out with some really crazy pieces and hair pieces as well. But I think the moment that will always stick in my mind is when I first opened my first shop.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's like...
From doing, exhibitions and market stands, and then actually having your own little shop all branded. And that was probably the key moment.
Yes.
So we're going to have all, the addresses on our website, are we? I hope
Most
so.
definitely. What we'll do is we're going to put your details on our website. So for those of you who want more information on Lauren's beautiful work and you'd like to buy some pieces for yourself, please go to www.dkw.me. Also, Lauren, you have a Facebook page, if you can let them know.
We do. It's facebook.com/Westwood Rocks, and we also have a Twitter account, which is
brilliant.
at Westwood Rocks, so please follow us.
Most definitely. So, ladies, stay tuned. We'll be back with Verena Leon, who does Just Cupcakes, and she'll be talking about business life and family life too. Thank you very, very much, Lauren, for coming on. I'm almost fumbled on my words and I'm too busy losing concentration over this. It's so beautiful.
She's
trust
so
me.
distracted.
I'm
poor
telling
thing.
you, the cameras do not do it any justice. So I'm going to go to a quick break while I admire her necklace and we'll be back.
I think she's brought something for you.
Hi, welcome everybody back to DKW. We're talking about using your talent in order to make money. Women out there, can you really use your skills and hobbies to earn a little bit of extra cash on the end? And we've been proving to you that yes, you can. So here in the studio, we've got the lovely Verena from Just Cupcakes. Hi, Verena.
Hi.
Hi.
You look really lovely, pretty in your pink. I just wanted to ask you, Just Cupcakes, what is it about?
Well, it's about cakes, basically.
Just cupcakes.
Not just cupcakes.
Well, there you go.
Basically, it's business where I make homemade cakes, and I try always to use organic butter, eggs, things like that, ingredients, or organic ingredients. And I make, my speciality actually is cupcakes, but I also make wedding cakes, occasion cakes, like birthday cakes, things like that. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Do we
They are
have some
beautiful.
pictures of just cupcakes? I'm sure we've got some pictures of your work. If we can just put them on the screen now. Ooh, that's
looks
stunning.
appetizing.
Beautiful.
Wow.
This was actually a
Absolutely
Christmas.
lovely. Christmas time.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
This was a birthday cake.
wow.
Some princess.
Wow, look at
Oh my gosh.
that.
How long did that take you to make?
My word, unbelievable.
A day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely
absolutely stunning.
fantastic.
It's art, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Is that
is
marshmallows?
Beautiful.
No.
Marshmallows. I think it's the
It's
icing
weed.
where it's
It's
weed.
icing.
It's a basket
I
weed,
love
yeah.
marshmallows.
I've seen a number of Verena's cakes, and because she's always invited me to a number of her tea parties and events that she's actually have, and her cakes are mwah,
Yeah.
Really?
absolutely beautiful,
So then,
absolutely lovely.
what I want to find out then, Verena, is how did it all start? I mean, have you always been baking? Or?
No. Well, yes. I've always baked. I mean, from the time I got married, started having children. Then I was a housewife, so I used to bake for my children, and bake their birthday cakes and things like that, Christmas cakes, and as my children grew older, they would say to me, "Why don't you bake cakes and sell?" And I would often say, "Well, no, actually, I'm not a professional. I just love to do it as a hobby and for my family." And then it went from there to me baking cakes or for my friends when they got married, I would bake their wedding cakes. And other people would tell me, "You've got a talent, you should use that talent." But then for me, because I never actually went out anywhere to learn my skills, it was like, oh, actually, I can't actually charge anyone for this. I've got to always do this as a hobby and not professionally.
And I think many people fall into that rut. They think, my skill set is something that is not professional, so therefore it can't be chargeable or it can't be used in order to, make money or gain financially. But that's not the truth, because as we can see from your work,
Natural
it's actually doing
talent.
well.
Wow, yeah.
One thing I have to ask you, because maybe there's loads of women out there, how did you juggle your responsibilities with a business in terms of, you're a mother, you said you've got children. Many women may feel afraid like, oh, I can't take the risk of having a business because what if it doesn't work? I've got mouths to feed, I've got bills to pay. I mean, did you ever struggle with that inner thought?
Well, yes. For many years, I did not want to take the risk because my children were young and they were my responsibility, and I felt I couldn't take the risk. I felt I needed to have an income coming in, a wage, and that I can depend on a monthly basis, because I never wanted to be in the position where my children would go without. So for me, going into business was a risk that I just didn't feel I wanted to take at the time. So in some sense, I held back for a number of years until I felt comfortable. And I only felt comfortable about 2 years ago because, as you can see, I'm older now. I'm older now, and my children...
And the kids are older.
They're older
sure,
as well.
aren't they?
So they are independent. Financially, I've only just got one child, really, that is actually dependent on me. So I felt this was a good time for me to branch out and do my own thing. So that's why I felt I could actually take that financial risk. Because really, going into business is taking a financial risk. It really is. I mean, there is no doubt about it. It is.
Yes.
Sorry,
But
ladies,
but
I'm
when it
moving on.
works, but when it works, it's worth, isn't it, the risk? I believe, because many people, many millionaires and people who are very successful nowadays, they say that they started like you, isn't it? Small, and then they branched out. I mean, everything, it's a risk. Without a risk.
Yeah. I think also for people who are actually going to small businesses, You can have you should actually have a huge vision for your business. You know, you should never think small. But in practice, you've got to be practical and think of, you know, this is a small business. I need to start off in a realistic
That's
way.
right, I agree with you there.
You know, in a realistic
Yes.
way. You know, not having too much of a capital overhead, not having too much of, for example, you need to look at your outgoings and not put a financial burden on your business from the beginning.
Break that down, because that is a very interesting point,
Yeah,
and I don't
I
want
agree.
people to lose that. Break that down. When you say you have to look at your outgoings, in what sense? Because, for example, if I am, you know, Jane Blogs and I love my Gucci handbags and I like to spend £1,000 every single month, I don't think that's going to quite work if I want to set up my small business, if I need the capital. Now, having said that, because that's a very good point, so break that down. How would you break that down for the women out there? What do you mean in terms of looking at your outgoings? And so on?
Well, for me, when I started my business, I had a full-time job, which I wasn't happy to give up, because I felt I don't want to put a financial burden on my business, because it meant that if I gave up my job, it would mean that my job would have to pay for my mortgage, pay for all my bills, sustain my business would have to, from the very beginning, you know, pay for my mortgage, my utilities, that kind of thing. And I felt, well, that would be a burden that I would be putting on my business from day one. And I wanted my business to succeed. So I wanted to have, to give my business a kickstart by not putting that financial burden on my business. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
does.
does, it does,
Yeah,
yes.
it does. It makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
but I like the idea of, you know, although she waited for her kids to grow up, there's a lot of women out there that think that, you know, I'm growing up my kids, I can't do anything apart from
I
just
agree with you.
growing up my kids. And, you know, what I find that V has found, she's found a personal talent that she's been almost like self-training, self-taught. She's been training herself along this period of time, growing up her kids. And at the right time, she was able to establish it into a business. So I think that many mothers who are out there who have like growing up children, they can follow the same suit. You know, you may think you're not doing anything, but you can be at home while you're looking after your kids, practicing
Developing a
something,
talent.
developing this talent.
You know what I saw on TV these past few days? I think last week I was watching the news in the morning. I think it was this morning, the breakfast show, and they were discussing, they were having like a debate. There were two guests there, one that was against a mother staying home, like give up her job, her career to look after her kids, and the other one who said, no, I'm going to give a break, you know, stay home, look after my kids, because nursery fees are too high. And they were talking about making money and all this kind of thing. I agree with, I mean, many people think that they can't do anything, but look at this woman. I watched on Dragon's Den, one of my favorite shows. The woman had a baby. She had to stop working because she needed to be home. She couldn't afford the fees and everything, nursery fees. And she started a business from home in her garage, selling baby stuff. So her garage was a storage. Online, all she had to do was to set up a website and then start selling on eBay and everywhere. And now she makes a lot of money.
There you go.
And her baby's there, growing healthy with her mum. So you choose the time for you, but you can do something, definitely.
So, Verena, so I mean, that's a very valid point. And see, that's the stay at
Use your
home mum.
skills, yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask is, because you've got experience from both sides of the
Yes,
coin.
she
So you've done the working mum and you've done the business mum. What are the differences and what are the pros and cons? Because many people might say, okay, now that I've heard that, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 and I'm going to run out and start my own business from my garage. And then some women will turn around and say, well, actually, I kind of agree with what Verena's saying. I've got loads of mouths to feed, loads of young children to feed.
Yeah,
I
it all
might
depends
wanna
on your
stay,
circumstances.
you know, in my
isn't
9
it?
to 5. What are the pros and the cons of both areas?
Well, it really is down to the individual and what suits them, because you've got to look at your circumstances. For example, if you are a mom who's at home and wanting an extra income, you know you've got a skill that you can use to generate an extra income for your family, you can actually start your business from home. And a lot of successful businesses now are actually starting from home and actually remaining at home, because people get the idea that if I have a business, I have to have an office. I have to have a building out there. Do you know what I mean? I have to go somewhere else, you know, to run my business. Your business can be run from home and successfully, you know, and it makes sense for you to do that in the present climate.
And you don't have
especially
all, you
as
don't
a
have all the
woman.
overheads as well, do you?
You don't have the overheads.
You just can run your business without the overheads. So
I'm running my business
it
from
makes
home,
sense.
in my kitchen.
You
You
cut
know?
costs,
I've-
time, traveling time. Imagine traveling to the office, coming back, plus juggling everything else, your social life and everything.
Yeah, yeah. So in one sense, it makes sense for you to work from home and do it from home. Yeah, that's what I say.
So then, Verena,
Very
final
inspiring.
thoughts. Well, yeah,
I
know,
wanna
it
hear
really
her
is.
tips for
That's
the
what I was-
mothers
that's what I
out
was gonna
there.
say, final thoughts and tips, because that is really inspiring, especially for mothers out there who perhaps are sitting on a talent that they've been dreaming of using, but they're thinking, oh, I can't do it. What would your final tips be to those women, and not just actually mothers, but women in general?
Well, you can do whatever you want to do. I've always said that. It's one of the things that I live by. You know, you can get up one day and say, I'm going to do this, and you can do it. It's really down to you. And for women who's wanting to branch out into something new using their talents, I must say this, and I feel it's really important that I mention this. When I started my business, like I mentioned before, never had the confidence. And then I felt I needed to go to college to learn skills.
Yeah.
And actually, I enrolled, went on to the course, and my first week I realized, actually, I know
do
more
all
than the
this.
tutor. I actually did know more than the tutor.
yeah.
And I
Sounds
felt
familiar.
it wasn't for me, because what she was teaching, I was so much more advanced, so I had to leave. Just what I mean.
But in some
it's something
cases,
you're
it
good
may,
at.
in some cases, it may suit someone to go to college.
to go to college
and learn
yeah,
and help
if you
with their
if
skill.
you feel that you've not got the confidence and you need to have a certificate,
to help
then go ahead and do it. But what I will say to women who's wanting to start their business, they should start. They should start. You can start your business small. You can start your business from home. You don't really need a lot of money to, you know, you don't need to go to a bank and get a loan. You could save, you know, and start small and build up your business, you know. And a lot of mistake that small businesses make is going off to the bank, running off to the bank and thinking, I need to get a few £1,000 from the bank to start off my business. And straight away, you've got to pay back that money.
Debt, yeah.
You know, and a normal business, small businesses, you've got to actually work at that business for minimum a year before you can actually make any profit.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, use what you have, isn't
You
it?
have to use, thank you for that, because that was very, very insightful. And there you have it, women. You've seen 3 women from different social backgrounds with different lifestyles tell you that you can use your talent. But maybe you might be sat there on your couch thinking, yeah, that's all well and lovely, but I don't have a talent. Well, just to let you know, ladies, everybody has a talent. And if you don't have one, think of your hobbies. What do you like? What are your interests? And invest in them. Maybe you have a lot of spare time on your hands and you don't know what to do with it. Go and Google, go and research and invest in you. You might not want to use your talent for financial gains, but at least you'll be investing in yourself, and you never know, that talent could help someone else. So DKWs, it was a pleasure having you on, and Verena, it was lovely to have you on. Just before we do go, I do want to speak about a special event that we will be having on the 24th of November called Break the Silence, End the Violence. It's going to be a special event on domestic violence, and would like to invite you all to come along. It's going to be at the Rainbow Theatre, 232 Seven Sisters Road at 1 p.m. If you... Sorry. And if you want more information on the actual event itself, you can go on our website, which is www.dkw.me. Sam, you was just about to say something.
Actually go on Facebook and find us. We have a lot of adverts that is going out at the moment on Facebook. I mean, the adverts are quite alarming, but really it's going to do brilliant if they tune in.
There you have it. It's been a wonderful show, ladies. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening.
This one's for